Hey, this is Joseph with Engadget, and you're looking at the Lenovo IdeaTab S2110. We first saw this tablet pop up at CES as the S2, and it's finally arrived in the marketplace, nigh unchanged from that earlier model we saw at the beginning of the year. This is a 10-inch Android tablet that comes with the optional dock. Now, if you opt for that model, you wind up getting extra storage, so the tablet will come in a 32 gigabyte configuration as opposed to 16 for the Slate alone. Also, the dock here adds additional battery life. It has a 6,340 milliamp hour cell to mirror the one that's inside the tablet, so that should double your battery life. It's rated for about 9 for the tablet alone, and then about 20 with the dock, but in real-world use in our testing, we wound up getting just about 16 hours with both combined. And as you can see here on the screen, it's running a skinned version of Ice Cream Sandwich, which is build 4.0.3, and it has here the launcher setup that we first saw earlier this year. Basically, it's just widgets that group different apps according to categories. You have life, you have social, you have games, you have media. And when you tap on them, they expand, be a little bit larger, and then you can go ahead, edit them, and add whatever you want in there. Cancel. Another interesting thing is the way to add and remove apps from the home screen. If you long press, you bring up this grid with the circular X's. It's very similar to iOS. You press, delete, and then to get out, you actually have to go up here and press Finish Edit Mode. Now, our main gripe with the software on the tablet has nothing to do with its actual performance. In fact, the dual-core 1.5 gigahertz S4 inside runs along perfectly. We didn't see any force closes. There was nothing really stuttery. We had really no problems with it. What we did have an issue with is this animation that can be kind of stutter. Sort of gets very staccato-y, and that can be mostly overlooked except for the fact that it goes into the app drawer as well. You have to deal with it. And there's no option to get rid of it from within the settings menu. Alright, so just to give you a bit of a hardware tour, so here's the 1280 by 800 IPS panel, and then down here it's connected at this bit that comes up just about an inch into the dock, and you can pop it out by pressing this button over here. The keys are actually really nice. Similar to what you'd get with a regular laptop setup. They have a really good sort of tactile feel, bounce back softly. The only major issue being the function keys on the side are a little bit too cramped in size, so you may accidentally press different keys that you didn't mean to. Over here you have the trackpad, which is actually pretty responsive, although you can't change the cursor speed, which we sort of had an issue with because the cursor will sometimes, as you can see, fly a little bit too fast for our fingers. Also, the trackpad isn't as smooth as we would have liked. It's a little bit tacky, so your finger doesn't exactly glide as it should. And then underneath here, at the base, if we lift it up, is where you can put in the a full SD card. And that's only if you have the dock. And then over here on the side, see if we can show you that, is 2 ports for USB 2.0, next to which is the micro USB. Now over here, we don't know if you can see it, but this is actually a covered port for nothing in particular. That's because on the US model, there is no ability for 3G connectivity, whereas overseas, this would actually be a SIM slot for you to enter your SIM cards. Above this, you have the mini HDMI out and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And this slit is actually part of the dual speaker setup. The other one's on the other side, obviously. And it's very discreetly placed, but it's actually well placed because when you're holding the tablet in landscape, your hands will rest just beneath this, so you won't obscure the speaker the way you would on other tablet setups. So we'll just turn it around on back now so you can see and get a look of what the back here is. It's a nice hard plastic with grooving, so it actually feels really good. We'd like to say it's not a fingerprint magnet, but it does actually attract some fingerprint grease. Here you can see the Lenovo branding. And over here at the top is the 5 megapixel rear module, which takes terrible 1080p video, as you'll see in the sample video within the review itself. We'll get to that in a bit as well. And then if we just pull the screen down just a little bit there, you can see this is where the power button is. That's just here. Okay, then we'll turn it on this side here on the right side, and there's nothing much except you get, yet again, here's a slit for the speaker, and then this is the volume rocker. And then down here on the base, there's no additional sort of ports available. Alright, so that's it for the hardware tour. We're going to go ahead and show you more of the software. As we pointed out, you have the little launcher widgets and this 3D animation there. It's sort of a cube, which you can turn off, which also extends into here. But just to go ahead and recount the amount of preloaded apps on here, there's quite a bit. And they range from things like AccuWeather or Lenovo's App Shop, which actually is defunct and was shut down at the end of September, but is still on here. And sort of surprisingly, an update came in this morning. We hadn't installed it yet, but one of the changes in the update is that it removes this. And that's another thing we should point out. A lot of this preloaded software, you can see Gametanium Documents to Go, all these different card games, Hearts over here, Backgammon. You cannot uninstall these. You can only disable them, so they will still be present unless you wind up rooting this and taking matters into your own hands. But we'll go ahead and show you. You have Shazam, you have SugarSync, Rara, Ovo, Norton, News Republic, Solitaire, and it goes on here. You have Zinio, Vendetta Online, and then these we've added ourselves. Alright, so the browser is a stock browser. Obviously, you can go ahead and install Chrome if you'd like. But what we noticed is it takes just about 30 seconds or more for full desktop sites to load. Most of the content will pop up, but for some reason it takes the browser quite a while to render things completely. As you can see here, it's taking a little bit longer than it has in the past because the Wi-Fi reception in the room that we're in is a little weak. But for the most part, as you can see, browsing is pretty responsive. It's very fast and fluid. It can resize things rather well. When you pinch to zoom, you will see some white spacing as it re-renders. But you shouldn't have any problems. Typical browser experience. Going into the camera, you can see that the UI is pretty much stock. You have this circular slider here for zoom to change the from rear to front, and then over here you can toggle all of your options, and then down here you switch between the camera, video recording, and panorama. Panorama we had a bit of an issue with because it requires you pan very smoothly and slowly in order to get a proper picture, almost so slow that you wonder why you're even bothering in the first place. As well as video posed a major issue. When we recorded 1080p video, and you'll see it in the sample, it's just abysmal. The frame rate chugs along, the audio is tinny, it's crunched, it sounds mechanical, and it's completely out of sync with the actual video. So we would not recommend that, and it's something that Lenovo should work on for this tablet. So that's about it for the Lenovo IdeaTab S2110. Really, it's a solid tablet. It's durable, it's dependable, it doesn't have any performance issues like we saw on other tablets, where something like the Xperia Tablet S continually force close, the browser would give us incredible issues. We ran into nothing like that on here, the only problem being price. Now, for $430, you get the tablet alone with 16 gigabytes of storage. For $580, you get that in a 32 gigabyte model with the dock, which doubles the battery life to about 16 hours in our testing. Does that compare to other slates that offer, optional keyboard docks? No, it doesn't, because it comes in much more expensive. You can pick up Acer's Transformer Pad TF300 for much cheaper, and it offers this exact same experience, and that with vanilla ice cream sandwich. So the choice is yours if you want to opt in for Lenovo's attempt at it, or if you want to go with another company's sort of attempt, or if you want to hold off and wait for a discount, which should be forthcoming at some point. So that's it, the Lenovo IdeaPad S2110. I'm Joseph with Engadget. Thanks for watching.